commenter Jerome sadly agrees with you
yes.
that the Deep is a version of Namor, not Aquaman. Damn it! Fine. Namor, fine. Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt, the Dork Lords. We are here talking about The Boys. Season 1, episodes 3 and 4. Get Some. And Female of the Species. All right, so again, there are 8 episodes total, so this is putting us halfway through the season 1.
Correct.
So we start our cavalcade of fun here with Huey cleaning up from blowing up Translucent.
Yes.
We end this segment with Homelander lamenting the loss of this plane and saying, hey, if you just had superheroes in the army and notified us, we could have stopped this.
Hypocritically lamenting, yes.
Yes. And so that's the section that we're dealing with here. All right, a lot happens in that time period. We meet some new characters.
We do.
There's a lot. The plot gets pushed forward quite a bit. So Huey is still has like a PTSD from probably killing his first person.
As
far as we know.
Yes, probably his first person.
Probably his first blow up a dude.
Especially that way.
Especially that way, and also the fact that it was a superhero. And we see, and when he goes back to his room a few minutes later, his room is just it's a shrine to the Seven.
Yep.
Including Little A-Train doll.
Yes, right, Little A-Train. For some reason, he never noticed it before.
Maybe he would just hadn't gone back to his room in a while. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. He's like, what's this? Yeah. And he destroys the room. Simon Pegg, his dad, comes in and basically breaks up with his dad, more or less. I mean, he says he's sorry, but his dad's trying to keeps reminding him of all the things when he was a kid, essentially, and it seems like the message back is, I'm not a kid.
Yes.
I'm not 7 years old.
Yes.
Goodbye, you. So he packs up a little duffel bag and heads out.
After saying he's sorry, And
he does say he's sorry.
Sorry for being such a prick. And yelling at you and saying that I don't like the Rockford Files or whatever it is.
Yeah, Remington Steele.
Remington Steele, yeah, there you go.
But I don't think they mentioned Remington Steele again, but I was like, oh, are they going to say it? Anyway, I thought it was interesting.
Oh, but it was it that one or the next one where he mentions, because I'd forgotten that he still regrets the last thing that he said to his girlfriend before she died was not to besmirch Billy Joel.
I believe that's in this in episode 3.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, and he really feels like as though if he had said something else before she died, it would have been better somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I love you.
Yeah. It's like, he'd be like, okay, A-Train.
That's fine. Now she's ready. Run on through. So an interesting little tag on that beat. So he's just broken off with his dad. He's leaving the house. And Frenchie, who has been there to kind of babysit him, essentially, sympathizes with him in that moment.
Yes.
Like, oh, yeah, I had a bad dad, too. He tried, I think it's a little tough to tell with the accent, but I think he said his dad tried to smother him with a Hello Kitty duvet.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay. All right. The fact that they even had one, but okay.
We learn more in the next episode. With,
he's got the little cigarette burns on his ankles
that his father gave to him,
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons he eventually, as these 2 episodes unfold, feels this connection to the as yet unnamed, probably new member of the group. You would know that I don't know. Is the Wolverine woman? I'll call her Wolverine woman. Is she going to be a member of the Boys?
Are we
not saying that? Okay,
are we saying it to them?
Okay, good point. All right, never mind. If you're following along and you haven't just binged this whole thing, I'm still at the episode 4 thing. But okay, never mind. Seems like she's going to join.
I can tell you afterwards if you want.
It doesn't seem like it's a horrible mistake that they're going to trust her and then she just kills everybody. So anyway, but he feels a connection to her, and part of that is because of his Frenchie's abused childhood.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
Okay. So, most of episode 3 is framed around this race that's occurring between A-Train and Shockwave.
Yes.
Who is not one of the 7.
No.
But we
potentially could be.
Could be. We learn that literally, if A-Train loses this race, he's been told, supposedly, that they don't want the second fastest guy on the 7. They want the fastest guy. So his whole career is on the line. I assume maybe that means Shockwave gets in the 7. I don't think they say that explicitly, but that's the implication. Right? If Shockwave beats A-Train, Shockwave's in the 7.
It would seem so. I mean, he's...
Why take the race?
I think he's the only person of color if you discount Noir.
Yeah. who wears a black outfit.
Yeah, who knows what he's underneath. He might be as black as Robert Preston. No, I'm trying to remember the name of the person who was the actor who stood in the scenes for Star Wars as Darth Vader.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't Robert Preston. What is his name? You'll look it up.
Okay, sure. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so A-Train's, he's got so much of his identity wrapped up in being part of the 7 that it really is his life is essentially on the line in this race. And so in order to ensure he's going to win it, he dopes up with this Compound V. We heard about it earlier. It's now, we see the effects.
Yep.
It makes superheroes more super.
And the downside is it makes them less in control of themselves.
Right, and it seems just the way that they treat the drug, like they're like needle, and it feels like it's like an addictive drug. Is what I'm getting out of it too.
Yeah.
So.
Because they use that terminology, like she
being Pop Claw.
Yes, Pop Claw, right. A-Train is saying how when she relapsed at one point, and he had to clean up after she threw up and stuff like that, and she was cautioning him to say that it was ridiculous. How it affected me, so.
Right, and also the character we'll talk about in a second, Mother's Milk. He sees the telltale signs of addiction in Pop Claw's apartment. He's like, oh, she's got a kit. Anyway, so Compound V gives you superpowers essentially, or accentuates your powers, but it's got a whole bunch of side effects, and it also seems to be addictive. But A-Train's got his future on the line, so he takes the drug. We also find out that he took that drug when he was on it when he killed Huey's girlfriend. They find all this information out by basically breaking into A-Train's girlfriend's Pop Claw's apartment, and Huey shows his value to the group.
That's right.
It sets up all the cameras and all of her different digital supplies and stuff in the house, so they can now spy on her.
Yes, exactly.
Effectively.
Yes.
So let's talk about Mother's Milk. So.
Because he's introduced in that episode.
Right. So he's the warden. I'm not sure what exactly his official title is, but he's running a juvenile detention center. And obviously all the kids respect him immediately. They're all like, yes, sir, no, sir. And he's got a mug that says badass. So you're like, okay, he's badass. it's like, we got the character development. He's badass. And so he has a past with Butcher. Butcher shows up to get his assistance.
And a past with Frenchie.
Yeah, he hates Frenchie.
And that's, I wonder if, I've seen all the episodes, and I guess they don't really explicitly lay out how his damaged childhood keeps him from following orders.
He being Frenchie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they don't really talk about Mother's Milk childhood at all.
Okay.
Just his relationship with his wife.
Right.
And how...
he's got something to lose.
Yeah, he's got something to lose because, his wife doesn't like... I almost said Buster. His name's not Buster.
Butcher.
Buster Butcher.
Buster Butcher.
His wife doesn't like Butcher at all.
Gotcha. Well, plus, if they get found out, which inevitably they will, all those loved ones are on the line.
Yeah, sure.
At that point. And that's one of the reasons that Mother's Milk hates Frenchie, because what I got out of it was there was in the past this guy named Mallory was on the team. It was Frenchie's job to follow Lamplighter, the member of the Seven that Starlight's replaced. Didn't follow him for whatever reason. Lamplighter burned to death Mallory's family or his kids. And I don't know what happened to Mallory, but he's either dead or committed suicide or something like that. And so Mother's Milk is blaming Frenchie for the lack of following orders and look what it led to. And we could all be in that position, basically. My wife could be torched if you don't follow the rules. So what does Frenchie do? He stops following the rules.
He does. He does it twice.
Look, there's a jail cell. Let's open it.
Yeah.
Oh, she killed everyone.
And he's supposed to drug her later, and then he decides that, let me try to talk to her. Twice he makes this decision. And thankfully, as an audience member, his plans don't work out to how he planned. Because it's like, certainly, I can buy the fact that that character was.
We're talking the female Wolverine.
The female Wolverine is making note of the fact that, okay, someone's trying to talk to me. He's not just trying to hurt me. Okay, fine, but I'm still frightened. I'm still going to protect myself and do things.
And she can do very well. We see her just eviscerate people.
Yeah, but she's, they haven't explicitly said, but, she's new to those powers.
Well, she's new to the powers, but I think also it seems to be that she has a bit of a code. So the people that she just eviscerates first are her jailers, the drug runners,
right?
For the Compound V.
One guy'd rather blow his brains out.
Yeah, he actually just commits suicide instead of dealing with her. And then she goes to what we find out to be the kind of like the woman that sold her off, essentially. And kills her horribly. And she's kind of backtracking her, as Frenchie said, she's trying to probably get home. But she's not just killing anyone who gets in her way.
No,
she's killing people that wronged her along the way. So good for her. 'Cause otherwise, I think she could have killed a whole lot of folks.
Oh, yeah. She definitely could
have. Including our heroes, if you call them heroes, our protagonists.
Oh, sure, yes.
So that plot line resolves itself with they gas her right as she's not attacking forcefully Frenchie, but she's got him down. And
but this is the second time I watched it, and it was interesting to see A-Train attack her. He was just ramming her head into the wall. It's like, I will stop you somehow.
If she hadn't been a super.
No, yeah, she would have been dead.
She'd have been dead many times over, right? It was like, he is bashing her good. And
appropriately, apparently, because that didn't stop her.
It didn't stop her. She got up and walked off as soon as he was distracted. The boys basically stopped that incident by going, look, it's A-Train! And everybody has to go snap their pictures. Which goes to, I think, a very important quote from one of these two episodes. It's Butcher, who says, the one weakness of the superhero, the soups, is their reputations.
Right.
And so that's how and that's a situation where they use the soup's reputation to get what they want. Just don't kill the...
Right.
So yeah, I thought that was a really important. I think that's thematically how they're going to go about trying to destroy these folks. Also, well, it's not really a reputation, but they kind of use that against Popclaw. She's taken the drug. She has a sexual encounter with the landlord. Kills him because she's so high.
Yep.
They filmed it. Now they're like, hey, we'll let this out if you don't play ball with us. So she's like, all right, here's how you get to the Compound V, folks.
Yeah. A-Train suspected Popclaw because he happened to go by the area. That's why he discovered that she was gone. So he went by the area that they released her, because that's where he got his drugs, and he's like, oh shoot. So he suspected that Popclaw had revealed it, and she did a good job.
She really was convincing. I thought she was just going to be like, okay, fine, you're right, I told some people. But...
Or just be like, and he'd be like, come on. Yeah. But no, she was really good.
So do you think,
I guess she is an actress.
I got from that he legitimately believes she didn't tell? Or do you think he's just like, fine?
No.
Okay.
I think he legitimately believes it.
Okay.
Partially based on what happens next.
Oh, okay. Oops. All right. So the way that episode 3 ends is pretty cool in that. So Butcher has taken Translucent's body, shoved it into a zinc-lined case.
Yes,
zinc.
Not
like lead.
No, not like lead. It's zinc.
And put spray-painted "Coming for You" on the underside of the lid, thrown it into the water. Porpoise finds it, tells the Deep, who tells Homelander, who shows it to Stillwell, and now they're like, they declared war. We've declared war on the 7th.
Yes, that's right.
It's a dangerous thing to do. But, there was another reference to, they showed the difference between Homelander and Superman when Homelander says something like, "Well, remember when you told me I should wear a red cape?"
Oh, yeah.
And I said, "No, it should be a flag." Well, look who's right now. So they know. They're wink, wink. But yeah, Homelander is not only just not just a sociopath. He's also a psychopath. I mean, in the moment, there's a bit where he and Maeve go to stop a hostage thing taking, and the guy gives up and he just punches him in the heart. There's no danger. There's nothing about it, the situation, but he's like, nah, I'm just gonna kill this guy. Watch him die in his eyes.
I was like, oh god.
That's right after he's complaining to Maeve about being required to do all this stuff for Vought, and his line is, "They're just people."
Yes.
And I thought that was pretty important too. Of he just doesn't care.
No.
And
really
like
although it's interesting how he's willing to keep the pretense that he's a hero when there are enough people around.
He's really good at doing the.
And
everybody.
The thing was really funny when it's like echoed the thing earlier, like when he when they arrived in the scene before he killed that sniper. He told the cops, like, "You're the real heroes," to the cops, which, that's something that's, tried and true.
He says it to everybody.
Yeah, he said to everybody, right. So, later on the plane.
In the plane. Like, you guys are the heroes.
Yes. What do they do?
He just, that's his
nothing.
go-to.
Yeah, I know. He just like, hey, like.
No, it's you. It's
you.
Like,
but we know it's me.
Yeah. I'm better for saying this.
Yeah, that's right.
Obviously, episode 4, the centerpiece of that, other than tracking down female Wolverine, is this horrific plane incident. So the way it works is that there's a plane that's been hijacked. It's in international waters, so it's kind of like fair game.
Yes.
And they feel like, so Stillwell says, "Look, you guys go out, Homelander, Maeve, save the day.
Yes.
And when you save the day, it'll make it really tough for Congress to vote against putting soups in the military.
Yeah.
So go do it." So they go out. I believe they had the intention of saying,
"Oh, sure, of course."
Yeah. I don't think it was a deliberate, tank the plane and then say, "Hey, without us, you need us."
No, because there was that whole period of time where it was like, "Okay, looks like we got everybody." No, wait, not behind this door here.
Right.
Which is unfortunate that, I feel like trying to help him. What he should have done was fly out, go around and go from that direction, as opposed to, using his, but of course he didn't. Why, it's far more realistic for him to mess up.
Let's probably, if I don't know. I'm not there.
No, right.
But let's say I'm one of the passengers on the plane.
Yes.
I might go, "There's another one in the cockpit." He seemed really surprised to find another one in the cockpit.
No. They weren't that helpful.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, "Yay, you did it! There's no problem." By the way, there's a guy still flying the plane. Anyway, they get in.
You could quickly have jumped out of the hole, come in the front, and knock them all out. But of course, no, that's not.
Well, yeah. So in the act of dispatching,
it's like one of the other pointless things I was thinking. Like, what if they had pilots ready? He can, but of course that would probably kill the person. Quickly zipping him back before the plane.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, how many planes?
How many?
It's really unlucky that there was no one else on. Oh no, he did this. You're right.
Yeah, there was no pilot who couldn't have helped.
You couldn't help now
in that situation.
No, you're right.
Do they?
Yeah. So it's just him not thinking. You know, he could have disposed of him so many different ways, but no, he had to chop him after he already killed the pilot. So he killed the pilot, and he could have just chopped his head off, but no, he used his beams, which made it impossible for him.
He could have done the heart punch. Heart punch.
Right. Yeah, so many different ways he could have killed him instead of, viciously killing him and the dashboard.
Yes. And so, damage done. His solution is let's just give up.
Yeah.
And then when Maeve's like, well, look, this woman is telling me to save her daughter. Let's just do that. He's like, no.
Yeah, she's gonna tell.
She's gonna survive and tell what happened. No, hell no.
I wish they'd do that. I think, well, it's already pretty cruel, but I promise I'll say nothing. Please don't kill me. I can be quiet.
I can be quiet too. We can all be quiet. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe we could quickly do a lottery so you can see who he's going to save.
Maeve is trying to bargain. We see that Maeve is, she doesn't appreciate it when he does the heart punch, for instance.
Nope.
And
he's still asking. Like, I feel like
they used to have a relationship.
Yeah, like asking, like, well, so why aren't we together anymore? Like, there wasn't enough reason that we've seen that they shouldn't be together.
Well, and he obviously does a very, stalkery psycho guy thing where he's like, if I thought you were with anyone else,
yes,
I don't know what I'd do. Like, okay, all right. Says the most powerful person in the world.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So Maeve is in this moment of she's trying to bargain, essentially. So she's like, look, can you just go up and hold the plane up, which we see in other comics. And
yeah,
what do I have to stand on?
Yes, and then she's like suggests like maybe just hit it or something, but then potentially could have it flip or do something even worse
through the fuselage.
Yeah.
It does seem like there's probably some way to save the day.
Why does it seem like that?
I feel like with those powers on display, there's probably a way. I haven't thought of it, but out there in the comments, how could Homelander have theoretically
to me, it's
saved the plane?
One of the things I've seen is like there's a very famous comic book artist, John Byrne, who's actually written for Superman. Many people give him credit, and I think he deserves it, for the more modern take on Luthor, where he's a businessman more than he's some crazy scientist.
Okay.
Which gives him all this plausible deniability. So they're just not always winding up in prison. Like, oh, you killed that person that I hired to do that bad thing? Oh, I didn't know why he was doing that. I'm still innocent. Anyway, John Byrne often talked about the things that Superman would do that were impossible. Like anytime he picks up a building and can throw it around, it's like the structure of a building would keep you from being able to do that. And the fact that he's also said how it's his powers are probably psionic or something, so he's lifting his body up or whatever. But why does that mean that he can also lift a plane too? So I feel like it's interesting how they're like because they are all these superheroes when they go into situations are far more violent. But if you think about how their powers actually work, there's a group of visual effects artists who've done these little videos about, and one of the thing they did was like, okay, what if Marvel movies, were behaved that they really should, the powers
behave the laws of physics or something.
Yeah. And so, like as an example, Captain America in the Civil War throws his shield and it knocks somebody out, but really that's a really heavy shield that hits somebody in the neck. It should just chop off his head. It's like, but no, he's throwing his shield around, just knocks people out. That's all.
It's the knockout shield.
Doesn't kill them. So I think we're having a not a real appreciation for what these powers actually do.
That's true. Yes, right. It's a comic book artist rendition of what would be cool. All right, that'll look fun. Not like I wonder if the science upholds. So they basically kill a couple of hundred people or something in this plane, and then turn that tragedy into, we weren't there and too bad, because if we'd have been there, we'd have saved the day. So you should have us in the army.
Yes.
And you can see that Maeve is not pleased.
But
she joined. She took his hand. He holds his hand out. She grabbed it. Because she wanted.
And she said, he was basically looking for a reaction, and she's like, "Yep. If they had only chosen us, and she had to walk away because it was so guilty for what she had done.
Guilty conscience.
And what Stillwell was really impressed.
Yeah. She's like, "Yay!
Wow, this is really good. What you're doing.
Yeah, well done. You blew up the plane and then blamed it on not being there." So, also, obviously, one of the centerpieces of these two episodes is Huey and Starlight have their first date.
Yes.
Essentially, they go bowling together. Huey is still having PTSD from a couple of things.
Yeah.
I mean, his girlfriend died
Yes.
in front of his eyes like days ago.
Yes.
We don't know exactly how long, but it's been just probably less than a week. And then 24 hours ago, he blew up and killed his first person. So he's having these. He keeps seeing his dead girlfriend. He asks about translucent, and she's like, "Yeah, he has a kid."
Yeah.
Like, why did you have to? Oh no. And so he's also torn because the boys are like, "Oh, we're gonna exploit this.
Yeah.
Great, you got an in with one of the 7.
Right.
We're gonna use that to try to kill her, essentially." Right? And so he's like, "Oh,
well, he'd say bug her so they can get all the more information."
Well, no, in this moment, but ultimately, I think they want to get rid of the 7, or at least, bring them down. But they've already killed one, right?
I think they want to expose them is what they talk about doing.
I'm just saying, it resulted already in one of them dying.
Yeah.
So, push comes to shove, the rest of the boys would probably be like,
well,
all right, kill Starlight.
But I think you could argue their motivation for killing him was the fact that he knew that they had bugged him, and then so sort of like we can't be foiled, so it's not like our mission is to kill all the 7. I think it's really to expose and end the 7.
Good point. But I'm just saying there's a fine line still there of like what Huey is being asked to do is detrimental to Starlight.
Yes, right. And he was saying like, screw those soups. He doesn't care about any of them. Not so much that he wants them all to die.
Although maybe I don't know. A-Train. I think he wouldn't mind A-Train dying.
What you're talking about? Huey wouldn't mind. Yeah, that's meant like. Sorry, I was talking about
Butcher.
Butcher. Not that he necessarily wants. He's the one who's still making the decisions about it.
Sure.
But because obviously Huey doesn't want Starlight to die, so it's it's Butcher the one telling her like, you're gonna bug her. So so his ultimate plan is not necessarily, I'm saying, the death.
I'm just saying we're seeing that moral turpitude in the way of Huey having to be like, I like her, I'm trying to be honest, but I'm actually not being honest because I'm really here and I'm gonna do this. But
right. Well, they're probably evoking some, like when you talk about somebody who's trying to do good, but they're forced to do bad things. Like in The Matrix, we talked about, where Neo is running around killing a bunch of people, and it's like the philosophy that Trinity tells him, it's like, hey, anybody who's working against us is
And they end up killing like 100 people in that bank or whatever it was. Like, I don't know, are these the good guys?
Exactly.
These are good people.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is another example, I think, of somebody who's saying, okay, well, it's us or them, the sort of mentality that, and too also like Blake's 7.
Oh.
Huh?
All right.
Right? Because like you can see like Blake, who had this sort of we must take this champion, we must always whatever, and Avon, who was sort of like, well, I think you're going off the deep end here in what you were trying to do.
Well, Avon was always the guy who was like, I got his self-preservation at all costs, until he wasn't at the very end.
Yeah, so it's good, I think, that it's trying to criticize, too, the boys who are trying to get their objective by any means necessary. Like, are they doing completely above board? So,
in a great conversation between Mother's Milk and Huey, when Mother's Milk says to him, everything has a price.
Yeah.
He's like, Huey's talking about how he actually enjoyed the moment when he killed Translucent.
Right.
And so Mother's Milk relates it to Compound V. It's like, just like A-Train, there's a price.
Yeah.
There's a price to pay for this road that we're on. And in fact, in that moment when they are witnessing Popclaw killing the landlord.
Yes.
And Huey's like, "You should go," and he's like, "No, no, up." And
then, and because up, primarily because it would help them. But he says, like, how fast can you get up there?
It's actually an excellent point by Butcher to say, what were you going to do?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have gotten there to save him in time. And you would have gotten there just in time for her to kill you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But you're right. But ultimately, it was also, and this helps us.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and now we've got her right where we want her. Yeah. She just killed a person. Yeah. Yay.
Yeah.
Good for us.
Yeah.
You know? So yes, the moral slippery slope is happening here with Huey.
Yeah, and it's it's an old theme. Which do you end up perverting your own beliefs in order to accomplish fighting? It's like if like in The Untouchables, where it's like if they kill one of us, we send one of theirs to the morgue.
What are you prepared to do?
Exactly.
He's in the car, and then we see on the other side on the Seven.
Right.
There, Maeve having these major questions, this crisis of conscience. I'm not doing the stuff I was hoping I was doing. Starlight, wear this skimpy outfit.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that. I can choose what I'm going to wear. Yeah, you can choose what you wear, but you won't be in the Seven.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. And then the little girl, like, I want to be like you. Don't worry, I'll get the slutty outfit.
Yeah, right. I have the old one, but I'll get the new one.
Yeah, don't worry.
And so she's debating it. And then we've got this thing with the Deep, where he's having a crisis of conscience as well, and that he wants to help the dolphins, but they're opening up this ocean land that he has to promo, and they're essentially putting dolphins in captivity. He has a meeting with a therapist about it and decides he's going to go rescue a dolphin, but in his inept efforts, dolphin goes through his windshield, lands in a street, and gets run over by a truck. That's the last we see of that scene, I guess, so we don't know exactly how it resolved, but the resolution is he failed in his efforts. And it's a wacky, absurd, surreal comedy scene, basically.
Yes.
He's talking to the dolphin, who's asking for sexual favors, and then he slams on the brakes, and it's slow motion while the Spice Girls is playing, which is a reference back to the previous scene. We'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, it's funny, and it is absurd. From my vantage point, though, it felt a little weird that in the first two episodes we have this version of him that is, hey, I'm going to sexually assault you before you can, as a hazing to get into this group. I'm sinister dick, and now I'm like goofy, comic relief. That was a little jarring to me. That's all. I thought the comedy wasn't quite as funny because of who it was that was at the wheel. But you were talking about that maybe I'm just being stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I mean, if you want to, look at characters as whole and complete people, people who are goofy can do horrible things to other people. So
I hear you.
It's like he's not somebody who's well realized. So he can do a terrible thing to somebody and not think about it, and she has to threaten him or whatever. And he cares more perhaps about these animals than he does about people. So.
Right, and you mentioned the cycle of abuse.
Yes.
He's being abused by the rest of the team. He tries to mention his serious thoughts about saving dolphins, and they're like, they put a dolphin blow-up doll in his bed. So they're obviously,
Yeah, and when he abused her, actually, he gave her the false impression that he was number 2, so he was more important. So
which she quickly realized was not the case.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that's his role at the moment is wacky, goofy guy.
Yeah.
And so Translucent's off the board, but they're pretending he's not off the board. They don't want to admit that one of the heroes died
until they discover it.
Even after they discover it.
The group
conversation where they're like, what do we do? All right, he's on a classified assignment.
Yes, exactly.
Take out MS-13.
Yes, MS-13. Yes.
Which also brings up to me the point of, does this mean that no member of the Seven has ever died? I mean, that could be. Lamplighter, we know, retired. And that's why Starlight came in. But so no one in the past has ever, it seems like this hasn't come up before. We're like, we got to replace him because he died in a volcano or something.
I don't know, but one thing she says though is partly because they're trying to sell the idea that
to Congress, they don't want to have, they don't want to look vulnerable before this big. We're joining the army.
Right.
Here's an idea. This isn't really related to much. It's an offshoot, but it did make me think of. All right, so this huge sporting event.
Yes.
It's A-Train versus Shockwave.
Yep.
Oh, there they go, and a stadium full of people.
Yes.
What are sports like in this world in terms of like? Do people even care if normal humans run around on a field playing football? I would think
they still do.
You think? I mean, maybe it's like in a world where superheroes can do super things. Oh, great! You ran a 9-second 100-yard dash. Who cares?
I would think so
Olympics.
because I would think so because I mean, as far as we've seen, it's not like every day there's something.
Yeah.
You know, it's like people aren't having so.
It's just you want to see like the best, right, of humanity. Like, oh, this is the top speed you can reach. Oh yeah, if you're not A-Train. Oh, A-Train can do that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just wonder if there might be a situation where sports are almost reserved for superheroes or something, or like things that are like really popular.
We don't have I wouldn't think
like
so. I mean, I feel like we haven't gotten a strong sense from the world exactly how many superheroes there are. We haven't heard about any competing companies.
200 plus in the Vought family, we know that.
Right, but I mean, but how much,
right?
How much entertainment is that generating, and what type of entertainment, right? You know, from what we've seen, what they're doing is they're fighting crime. So they're not like, the Harlem Globetrotters or something.
Although maybe if they sponsored a race, why not sponsor superheroes playing basketball? I don't know. Yeah, no, okay.
I mean,
just a thought. I
don't know. Anybody who's reading the comics, in the rest of the season, nothing.
Okay.
The rest of the season, nothing. If anybody's read the comics, if that's the case, you can let us know.
That was a conjecture. Oh, by the way, commenter Jerome sadly agrees with you.
Yes.
That the Deep is a version of Namor, not Aquaman. Damn it! Fine. Namor. Fine. Okay.
I don't even remember making that claim, but
you
certainly
threw out Namor's name last time. That's why I was like, it's not Namor, it's Aquaman. Damn it! It's a DC thing. There's Superman and Aquaman. But he does look.
In terms of his powers, I can't think. It's not like I've read every Namor comic, but I don't feel like he's known for communicating.
I don't think he's Prince of Atlantis or anything. Anyway, all right, yeah, fine. So there you go. That is essentially episodes 3 and 4.
Yes.
Anything else you want to
No.
cover? All right. So we'll be back with episodes 5 and 6. We'll also maybe put in the comments. There's 2 series that are coming up quickly that I think maybe we would cover one of them, perhaps, maybe both, but one like Carnival Row and the Dark Crystal prequel,
which he's really pushing for.
Actually, I like both of the series. I'm probably going to watch both of the series. I'm just wondering for coverage purposes
sure.
what we might do.
Of course, yes.
But so if you have an interest in one or over another, put them in the comments.
Oh, there you go.
We're trying to figure out what to talk about.
Yes, exactly.
In September. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.